interview with iRunFars.com, Bryon Powell, and La Sportiva mountain running athlete Jason Bryant. In the paddle boat, Tussey Mountain Family Fun Center, after the Rothrock Trail Challenge 2010.
Now comes the paddle boat challenge.
Well, howdy, Jason. You ran a real smart race today. It was a 18.6 mile race, but a very slow one, taking just under 3 hours for you and the other leaders. Did you go into the race sort of with the idea of pacing very sort of conservatively?
I definitely had the idea of pacing. Like I tell kids that I coach, I wouldn't really consider it being conservative. I consider it just being smart, having a plan. You know, like I told you earlier, my idea was be one of the people running their strongest in the last hour.
Gotcha. So you weren't trying to be conservative, you were trying to run your best race over the entire distance rather than running all out from the gun and trying to hold on.
Exactly, yeah. I very seldom have the strategy of go hard out from the gun and hold on. It's to run my best spread out over the entire race.
I mean, you're a La Sportiva mountain runner. In the La Sportiva Mountain Cup really focuses on shorter trail races, but you're also an accomplished ultramarathoner. You set the course record on the Belmonte 50 mile earlier this year and run numerous other ultramarathons. Do you think that has helped with your shorter trail racing, and how?
I think it has helped with the shorter racing. I think how is just the ultras, you really got to be prepared mentally, and where it's helped in the shorter races is being prepared for that sting in a short mountain race, because mountain races sting going uphill, and they sting from the gun, and then they sting for the whole time. And it's like I was telling some of my high school kids, describing the two, that the mountain races sting the whole time, ultras are just a slow, dull punishment. But they both require that mental preparation for stinging, because it was like, I know somebody was saying, a fast guy on some fast stuff, he was like, you know, there's a point to be comfortable and fast, but mountain races don't provide that. So.
I mean, on another point related to that, you were talking about after the race that you had really made a plan to drink a lot in the last hour. So do you think that the ultramarathons have helped you sort of plan your nutrition and your fueling better? How did you fuel today? What did you take in terms of food?
Fueling today was definitely, I took a hydration drink, and then I also carried honey stingers, because I found that works really well for me.
About how often were you taking them?
I was trying to take one at like 50 minutes, and then took the second one based on feel, and I don't remember exactly what the time was. I more based on how I felt,
okay,
and whether I needed one. But you know, talking about the hydration, the big thing was around 2 hours, took the time, stop at an aid station, fill that bottle with water, and hammer that bottle of water down before I was going into that last push. You know, coming in with a strong finish, like I was saying.
So even on a day when it's not, temperature-wise, it's not very hot, it's probably never got above 80 during the race, maybe even the mid-70s, yeah, but it's cool. Real humid under the canopy, so you really have to pay attention to that, even if it's not a 90-degree day in the summer in the east or something.
Oh, exactly. Humidity, it'll take it out of you, and you can end up very depleted. And so that was something that I'd thought about and planned on. I mean, and was working on last night, was getting well hydrated before the race even started.
So, what races do you have coming up?
Mount Washington, 2 weeks. That's the big one. That's what the main focus of where my training has been. And then I hope to do a 100-miler in Burning River in July.
And that'll be your first 100, right?
That'd be my first 100.
And then you're put in a couple more La Sportiva Mountain Cup races before the end of the season. You're in third in the series right now, after 4 races. You've run all 4, correct?
Correct.
So, any ideas on which ones you're gonna?
I haven't decided for sure. The Up and Over, New Mexico, is most likely definitely going to be one, because you know, I am going to shift here after Mount Washington, and I'm going to make the final decision on the 100-miler after Mount Washington. Our training and focus is going to shift toward that 100-miler, and that'll be in July, end of July, and that would give me some time for the Up and Over. So that one's probably definite, and I might squeeze in another one. It just kind of depends.
So, would you have any advice for somebody coming out, say they wanted to come out for the Taos Up and Over 10K, or the Bar Mountain Trail race, or Bar Trail Mountain Race, excuse me, what advice would you have for a new trail runner hitting the trails? If they've come from, if they've been a runner and they've been on the roads, what?
I would definitely recommend a little bit of pacing, just for the big aspect of you can get yourself in trouble early. Going up a climb and you say, oh, I felt good on the first climb, but then I was dying the last couple of miles. And I've noticed you can lose a lot in the last few miles of a trail race, especially ultras. That's another thing that I've learned from ultras and thought about today, because I've looked at several races where if you check splits, and I've had that for myself in splits, and I've been on both sides, on the positive end and on the negative end, where it's a minute per mile difference. There's a lot of ground to be made or lost when you're talking about a minute per mile difference at the end of some of these races. And that kind of happened for me today. But.
Well, thank you, Jason, for taking the time to speak with us. Good luck in your upcoming races at Mount Washington and Burning River, and take care.
All right, let's get back to the paddle boat.
All right.